We're going to be bringing you the second game today of ECAL's qualifications. This is a North and South American tournament. We're going to be having two new teams. We were originally going to be following EFK, but that kind of fell through because we couldn't find their opponents. And now we're going to be casting Simplicity versus Final Form. Simplicity is going to be your Radiant side. Final Form, obviously FF, going to be the Dire side. I hope that isn't another acronym of things to come. I would like to see a close game. Last game was pretty one-sided.
Yep, and Team Simplicity actually, they were in the Gamer University Open earlier today, and they beat Dash 9 Gaming, who is one of the invited South American teams to the ECAL League, and they then lost to Pot and Bottom, but from what I saw, had a pretty good showing against them. So hopefully we're going to see some good play out of them.
Yep, should definitely be interesting. First couple of bans already coming out. Chen Furion from Simplicity. Also, Final Form is going to take out Lycan, so nothing really surprising as of yet, but pretty interesting to note that between these two games, we've seen the same three heroes banned, even considering the addition of heroes like CK. I think that both teams still kind of consider some heroes to be just too obnoxious to deal with. In last game, oh, never mind. Foot and mouth, CK will be banned out by Simplicity after all, with the Invoker from Final Form. So the ban's going a bit faster this time around, but is this a round 2 or round 1, or do we know? There's just so many games.
This is round 3.
Oh, okay. So we actually probably had a round 2 with the
Simplicity
bye?
had a first round bye, and they just beat Sem X Aura. And Final Form also had a first round bye, and they beat X-Men.
So we're going to have a round 3 game, and first pick for Simplicity is going to be Darkseer, followed immediately by Brewmaster and Windrunner, also tied, by the way, going to be the last of the first 3 bans. And that's a hero I haven't seen banned in the first 6 in a very long time.
Yeah, I don't know, teams just aren't scared of Tide anymore.
Yeah, I find
he's not getting picked as much either.
I find it a bit interesting. You couldn't find a game without a Tide ban or pick a couple of weeks ago, and now it's like teams really don't even care that much about him. But I already see a lot of teamfight synergy coming out from Simplicity with that pickup of Queen of Pain. You got the Darkseer Vacuum Ion Shell Wall plus Queen of Pain's ridiculous burst damage with that Sonic Wave and Scream as well. So both teams looking to try to fight in the early to mid part of the game. Brewmaster obviously one of those dominant forces, as well as a Windrunner who can pretty much do anything under the sun. You can semi-carry, you can support, long lane, doesn't matter. Windrunner can pretty much do it. So I think at this current point in time, Simplicity probably has about the same predictability in terms of lanes that Final Form has. You have one probably long laner within that Darkseer and Windrunner respectively, and then 2 mids between Brewmaster and Queen of Pain.
Yeah, and if they do that mid matchup, I really like the Brewmaster against Queen of Pain. I think he has an easier time than a lot of heroes actually. The Shadow Strike can be tough to deal with at early levels, but his base damage, his attack animation, are pretty tough for the Queen of Pain to compete with.
Yeah, I still kind of think that melee versus range discrepancy, though, with Shadow Strike is going to be still not be easy, but I do agree that he's one of the melee heroes who can potentially do okay in that lane, and Enchantress also going to be picked up here by Simplicity as well. That rounds out their first tier picking phase. Now we just got to wait for Final Form to see what they're going to do to react, and I'm honestly a bit surprised that Enchantress went that far without getting picked up. And Sand King also going to be taken out here by Final Form, or picked up rather, by Final Form.
I think teams are shifting back towards Sand King and ES instead of Tide Hunter lately. Even though Tide did get banned here, I really like the stuns over Gush for early game, and all of the heroes fulfill a pretty similar role. But the damage from Echo Slam and Epicenter are just so good that I think Ravage, as good as it is, just can't really compete anymore.
Well, looking at the heroes that Final Form did pick up, I mean, with the Tide ban, there are 3 heroes on that team are pretty hard countered by Ravage. I mean, Brewmaster can die in a Ravage if you have enough burst damage, which looking at Simplicity's lineup, they definitely do have quite a bit so far. Sand King can be pretty much shut down completely as well. Even out of Sandstorm, Ravage will still hit you. Windrunner's mobility is completely thwarted, so I kind of understand now after seeing those first 3 picks as to why they would take him out here. And also a little kind of strange ban, I guess, with the Anti-Mage. I mean, that hero is kind of seen off and on. Some teams really like him. I know Infused runs AM. I think they're probably the only team left known for doing it. And Enigma also taken out here by Simplicity. So, looking at the lineup so far, a lot of early game aggression is what I'm thinking.
And that's what we like to see.
Yeah, I'm excited. I always like to see games where people are trying to fight. If I saw level 1 Roche, I would be so happy. I'm sad that I missed that game earlier. Where there was like, what do you say, like 18 kills in the first like 5 minutes of the game or
It
something
was
ridiculous
something
like that.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I wish I had been there
Dara
for
had
that.
5 heroes at Roche for the whole first at least 8 waves, and Mouse had 4 heroes over there, and they just kind of took turns farming with one other hero.
That's absolute insanity. Leshrak's going to go ahead and round out the last ban here for Simplicity, just waiting on Final Form to see what they're not going to want to deal with next. And this is another thing that I find a bit strange is Morphling has kind of fallen off the map, at least today as well. That hero is pretty highly regarded by a lot of teams, just being a very versatile semi-carry or hard carry, depending on how you build him. I know some teams like getting that quick Ethereal Blade for the shotgun combo, some teams build him as more of a tank with that Eye of Scotty and just allow him to get into team fights and really just be unkillable. So I think it's really cool how things are continuing to develop in the Dota 2 beta scene, especially between teams that we don't really get to cast very often. I mean, I would be hard-pressed to find anybody who knew of these two teams except for the one guy in stream chat who is apparently rooting for Final Form, so shout out to Newville. He is going for Final Form this game. But I always enjoy casting teams that I haven't seen because you never know what they're going to do. A lot of times you see teams mimic just higher-tier play, but sometimes you get things thrown at you from left field, and that's what we're looking for today.
Well, Simplicity is a team of mostly NEODota people, and I believe they are making a play on the Complexity gaming name there, as their logo is just an inverted colors version of the Complexity logo.
Yep, that is definitely a good point. Didn't even notice that until you said something, actually. And speaking of, they are going to go ahead and take Lich here. It is Final Form's pick. And I guess first pick is going to be Radiant this game. I'm not sure if the rules are it's random or if it's just based on whatever the teams decide. I'm not really sure how they're enforcing that. So we could be seeing first pick from either team at this point on. And looks like Final Form is going to cut into their reserve time and go ahead and pick up a Crystal Maiden. So after a CM pick, my first thought is dual lane mid every time I see that hero, because she is just so good at pushing back pretty much anyone. In this case, would probably be the Queen of Pain coming out from Simplicity, and another Void Lich combination with Queen of Pain.
We are seeing the exact same team on Radiant that we just saw, just with DS instead of Beastmaster.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're what, 4 for 5, right? Even the Enchantress, too? Holy crap,
Yep.
man. What are the odds?
And once again, they're lacking stuns. But last time it worked out okay.
Well, let's think of it this way. Last game, the Void had like 1 or 2 questionable ults. This game, you have a vacuum to make sure that that doesn't happen. So, as long as Simplicity's coordination is decent, then I think it's going to be really hard for Final Form to really fight them. They're going to have to go for picks more than 5-on-5 team fight, I would imagine. You really don't want to try to fight into that. Maybe Simplicity watched the last game and like, you know what? That looks fun. Let's just go ahead and do that, but we're going to add our own kick to it with the Darkseer instead.
So what are they going to pick here to compete with the Void?
That's a good question, man. I feel like they could still pick Morphling here. I mean, he leaves their
They
lanes
banned
pretty
him.
flexible. Oh, they did ban him. Never mind. How did I not see that? Well, that's why I have you here, to catch me when I make mistakes like that. So after seeing that, I'm really not sure what they can do here. I mean, they have 2, I guess, supports, or 1 roamer in a support. They have their mid with the Brewmaster and the long laner.
They should pick Storm.
Yeah,
I would
Storm
like
would
to
be
see
pretty
a Storm.
decent here. They don't have a lot of lockdown for him either. I mean, really all they have is just the Void, and that's it.
Yep. The Quap is going to rush Ginsu probably.
And we've seen teams run safe lane Storm before as well. It's actually pretty good, as long as he gets a good start. That hero needs levels
Their
very badly,
lane,
though.
their lane combinations are limitless if they get Storm.
Yeah, and they're going to go with a Riki instead. I was kind of thinking about that in the back of my mind, but Riki's one of those heroes who, his early game is his entire game. If you don't have an early game on Riki, like coming back on that hero is so difficult because his whole purpose is just controlling the pace of the mid game and allowing you to basically revoke any aggression from Simplicity in this case, just due to the fact that they can't really go anywhere without being scared of dying. I mean, you have an Enchantress. If the Riki just hunts that hero, she can't really do anything. The Lich is kind of in the same boat, so if he doesn't have a good start, I think it's going to be a little bit rough for Final Form, but we're going to have to see. Just waiting for people. Go ahead.
They're gonna need him to be active early game. If the Riki just starts farming, I don't think they're gonna be able to kill this Queen of Pain or Void. But with the Cloud, they could definitely get some pickoffs, and then they should be able to push after that.
we're going to go ahead and see what Final Form decides to do with their lanes. We're going to have What Would Dendi Do, playing Brewmaster, by the way. I like that name. And apparently everybody from Final Form is just a What Would, and then somebody from a notable team. What would Milk do? What would Artstyle do? What would Mania do? What would Demon do? And apparently we're going to see what their interpretation of that will be during this game. We got Sheep also playing Enchantress. For simplicity, Happy Cat going to be joining him bottom on the Void, along with Boogaloo playing Lich. Middle lane, we're going to have siL on Queen of Pain. And finally, Kitty is going to be going top on that Dark Seer. So the lane's working out kind of how I expected them to for simplicity, especially after seeing pretty much a mirror match of last game.
And Void gets to start off with a poor man's shield after being pulled regen items by his Lich.
Oh, that's actually huge, because even if they do decide to try lane down here, it's going to be really tough for them to do anything. I don't think they will, though. I think they're just going to go ahead and rotate after spotting out what the lanes are. I think they should be fairly obvious. I'm not sure if Simplicity actually saw them go into this little cut here. We can see pings, though, so I assume that Lich, at the very least, is wise to their shenanigans.
I don't think they actually saw anyone besides the Sand King, but he's dancing around enough where...
yeah, he's kind of making it like, go ahead.
Just staring him down, and I'm like, don't do it.
Come at me, bro. That's what he's saying right now. He just wants to be initiated on. Aw, no battle points for this game. Now I'm sad. It's all about the battle points. So Brewmaster and Windrunner are actually going away from the bottom lane, so we're going to be having a CM, Sand King, and Riki tri-lane taking on the dual lane with a defensive jungler of Simplicity. And honestly, this should pretty much let Riki farm quite a bit. The only problem I have with it is anytime you have a Sand King in a tri-lane, he's always going to be underleveled pretty much, unless you are getting kills early on, which I doubt is going to happen in this case, especially because of Void, starting like he said with that poor man's, is like indestructible. I mean, look at how hard the CM hit him. He barely even lost health. I'm just not really sure if they're going to have too much effectiveness in this lane. So that also means that we're going to have a Windrunner going up against a solo Darkseer top and mid Brewmaster versus Queen of Pain, as we had spoken a bit about before. So right now, just going to go ahead and see what the lanes are going to do in terms of effectiveness. I don't know, man. I don't know who I want to favor, because the Void probably is still going to farm in this case, but the Riki's going to farm too. And the Riki's going to hit his stride before the Void does. So I think it's going to be like you said earlier, based on what this guy decides to do. Still feel like
we'll see if the Queen of Pain can sweep down there for some kills. I don't think they have to worry about Panda ganking down there nearly as much as the Queen of Pain can gank. And top lane is going to be pretty boring for most of the game.
Yeah, I don't really think we're going to be seeing any kills between a Windrunner and a Darkseer. I mean, right now, I don't even think either of them have used regen. Nope, they're both just sitting at full HP. They're like, you know what? Oh, actually, in the bottom lane, we had Lich getting a triple nuke off right there, and Happy Cat's not even scared at all, man. He just wants to get in. Battle mode.
And Enchantress looks to be switching to the top jungle, as they did ward off 3 of her 5 spawns in the Radiant jungle.
I like that decision, especially with the Brewmaster pre-6. I mean, he can't really do anything to escape an Enchantress gank. You see Kitty playing very aggressively up here, cutting the creep wave, throwing out the Ion Shell, doing quite a bit of damage to this Windrunner. Only level 1 shackles, so even if she shackles, it's not going to be too long. He's just standing here tanking it, man.
Really good play, yeah.
Needs to be really careful.
Here comes the troll.
Oh man, net creep. This could be all they need to get the first blood here. There's a surge in. We got a TP coming out from the Sand King, though. And Kitty might pay with his life here. Is he going to be able to get the stun off? But no, the tower's attacking the Enchantress instead
Nice
with those
play.
natures.
They can turn around on him.
Yeah, we still have the creep. They're still tanking the tower, but eventually drops. Ion Shell going to be popped once again on the creep. And after seeing that TP, that means that this Void's going to be able to farm, man. They're not going to be able to stop him now with the Sand King making the transition top. And you can see Boogaloo knows it too. They're going to go right onto CM right here. There's a Nova, not even level 2 yet, so the CM can't freeze him, but the Cloud looks like it might just barely save him. Health pop between the auto attack, one more! And it does go off. Boogaloo gets the first blood. Really nice timing on the salve. Unfortunately, not enough to save him. And that is 2 kills already in favor of Simplicity at 3 minutes into the game. And we can see how low this Brewmaster is mid as well. He is just not having a good time. And he doesn't even have his bottle yet, only 6 CS. He's going to be forced to bring himself a health potion just to stay in lane. Right now we can see the Sand King making his way to the side here. Gets level 3 from that solo experience because his Windrunner is dead for a bit. So he's got level 2 of his Burrow Strike. But yeah, after seeing that, I mean, I don't really know what Final Form is going to do about this, because their Riki is not having the start they wanted. It seems like I missed a kill mid. Enchantress and Queen of Pain pick up the Brewmaster again, pre-6. Sorry, I didn't see that, guys. Everybody misses one every once in a while. But that's going to be 3 for 0, basically, right now, for Simplicity. We can see how far back Final Form is sitting in this bottom lane. They just can't really do anything. I mean, Riki is level 2. He has 1 rank in his smoke, 1 rank in the cloud. We can see CM coming down here to try to do some counter harassment, but it's really not going to do anything for him. Kitty's just sitting at this top lane, surging and ion shelling the creep, so it does extra damage to the Windrunner. How annoying is that? Fortunately for her, she still does have quite a bit of regen left after getting dove there by the Enchantress. And Enchantress has indeed made her way back to the other side of the map, so back with her teammates on the Radiant side. Oh, wow, Kitty's going to get picked off here top, too. I have to imagine that was a Shackle and Power Shot combination onto the creep wave and bottom lane.
She did not hit the Shackle. Just a little over-aggressive there.
Alright. Well, we got Sand King making his way to the bottom now. CM is level 2, but doesn't skill Frostbite. Goes Aura instead. I gotta say, that has to be a mistake. I don't understand in this situation why you wouldn't get Frostbite instead. That seems like just a blunder to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the Windrunner appreciates the Aura, but CM is basically the strongest level 2 hero in the game if she gets the other 2 spells.
Yeah, well, she does have the Nova. They're going to smoke up in the back right here, but really the only person they can target is the Lich, because they're not going to be able to freeze Happy Cat in the cloud. He just got too much HP, and they're going to try to go on him. Wow, the leap doesn't actually go that far at all. That seems a little bit strange, but he's going to get clouded right here, but just look at how little damage he takes. They don't have anything really to follow up because its CM doesn't have the rank in Frostbite. Right now, I gotta say, Final Form's gonna have to make something happen pretty soon. It's already 3,000 gold in favor of Simplicity. 5 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, and you can see siL just does not care, man. Throwing out that Shadow Strike, gets the Scream off too. Not drawing tower aggro with the right click. Very nice play right there. Just doing some free harassment.
SA actually poured it up top to help the Windrunner.
Yeah, but we're going to have another gank on top in the meantime. There's a Cloud going off, trying to mitigate as much damage as he can. The tower is still attacking Kitty. Blink Strike in from the Riki. Can he get it in time? Nope, Nature's Intent is going to be popped, so Kitty's Ion Shell will indeed pick off that Windrunner. And that is 5-1 in favor of Simplicity, and no one is bottom anymore. So Happy Cat gets to farm pretty much till his heart's content. And we can see Riki doing everything he can to try to stop this creep wave, but, I mean, it's just a Riki. He doesn't have really anything. Oh man, this game is not looking too good for Final Form. I don't know. Like, the early game momentum for Simplicity is something they just simply can't have. You can't let the Void get free farm, you know?
Panda does have his ultimate now. He should be able to farm a little bit. He has boots. That's about it.
Well, at this point, Happy Cat's sitting on 28 for 14 at the 6-minute mark, almost 7, so that's pretty good for him. In the meantime, mid looks like siL is getting some harassment done to him by the CM. Again, still only level 2. No rank.
Radiant is just out farming them so much. They have 3 heroes with 30 CS or more. They actually just went on that Queen of Pain mid. She got caught by the sun, but still able to escape.
Yeah, in top lane, we're going to have another dive onto Riki. He's going to Blink Strike to the Enchantress, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, man. Surge onto Kitty still has an Ion Shell activated. Here comes the Nova. They will get the Enchantress, though. And it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but wow, look at how much damage this Enchantress is taking. The Shockwave goes off, too. That is a double kill, killing spree for Kitty. Level 8 Darkseer at 7.5 minutes. Going to go ahead and surge himself out of here. Not even sure if it was necessary. Sand King only level 4. I doubt he could have done anything to him whatsoever. So 7-2 at 7 minutes and 37 seconds into the game. In favor of Simplicity at this point. No tower's dead yet. But honestly, in this case, I would say it's worse that they haven't lost a tower because they're so far behind in money already. Once the towers start dropping, I think it's going to become insurmountable.
Yep. See the Panda just sitting back in middle tower. Nothing he can do. He should really just go back and heal right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you're not in experience range anyway. I mean, I guess he's just going to wait out the creep wave and try to get what he can, but really, it's just not looking too good right now for the middle lane. And even in the 2v1, Kitty just doesn't care, man. He's got his Vanguard up at 8 minutes. 8-minute Vanguard. And he's level 9. How are they going to kill him? I'm really not sure at this point if it's even possible. Finally, CM Gets that level 3, and there's an invis on siL as well. Ooh, they could instantly kill this Riki here if they get a little bit lucky with their positioning. Oh, wow, no Sonic Wave actually on the Queen of Pain, so never mind, they definitely can. In the meantime, bottom looks like Lich gets a kill on the Windrunner. So I missed another kill. Darn it. And top lane, we're going to have more aggression as well. Auto attack going off on a Queen of Pain. The vacuum will seal the deal on that kill. Iron Shell's going to be used. Stands right on top of the Sandstorm. Sand King gets that kill. Now siL going to be forced to blink out. Going to try to juke the Logor, and actually doesn't even need to. Has quite a bit of health. Circling back around to the tower for some assistance, but it's just not going to matter. And another Scream comes out of the Queen of Pain for a secondary kill. Now a TP top into Crystal Maiden. Man, you can't fight this. It's too dangerous. You gotta run, man. You don't do any damage. The tower's gonna die too. Oh, man, this is just so not good. And tower last hit, Karate Punch. So
Wow.
Kitty is just doing amazingly well this game versus that Windrunner with the help of Enchantress. And bottom lane too, we're gonna see Windrunner force back here. Tornado doing a lot of harassment damage. And Sheep is gonna go in. Oh, nice double burrow strike. Happy Cat doesn't have mana to chrono anyway, but it doesn't appear to matter that much. And Sheep is gonna be forced back here. Actually choosing to level his enchant over the Nature's Attendants anyway. Not that I really think it matters at this point. I think really the only thing that matters is it's 12-2 at below 9 minutes, and the Darkseer is level 10, almost 11, with mana boots, a Soul Ring, and a Vanguard.
And Sand King is still level 4, so he wasn't even close to being able to Epicenter after that double stun.
Yeah, I feel for final form here, man. It's a rough game. I'm not really sure if they can really do anything to get back into this. I mean, Brewmaster is level 6, but he doesn't have any items. He has nothing but a magic wand, and you can see him taking the harassment down here. He gets stunned, gonna go ahead and throw out the clap. Happy Cat might be in a bit of trouble. Brewmaster can ulti. There we go. Happy Cat doesn't have a magic wand. No charges left. He's gonna get taken down here. Oh, wow, a lot of backtracks. Actually almost got out of there alive, but ultimately does drop to the Brewmaster aspect. So now in the meantime, mid, Simplicity poised to take this tower. Enchantress was around here somewhere. I could have sworn she was around here somewhere. Oh, there she is. She was like hiding on my screen. Standing right behind Queen of Pain, just where I couldn't see it. And yep, another free tower pretty much for Simplicity, so top lane, Kitty's just having the time of his life. Buys some dust too, just for the sake of it. Be able to kill Riki. And the continuation of this push will be assisted by probably Enchantress or Darkseer, depending on how they decide to rotate their heroes. It looks like Queen of Pain is going to be making their way top instead. I like that choice. Definitely easier to push a tier 2 top than it is a tier 2 mid. Especially when you see the Brewmaster TP. But Sand King's off here to the side. They might want to go on this. Riki's standing out in the back. Sheep does not have that much HP, but he's going to get spotted out by siL instead. Wow, only level 5, taking huge damage. Can he burrow strike up to the high ground? Oh, nice deny by Riki. Definitely would have died there anyway. There's the dust, though. And the Ion Shell rundown coming in. There's the vacuum and the tornado as well. Attempted kill steal from siL, you dirty man, but doesn't get it. Darkseer Ion Shell gets it instead. And now they're going to go ahead and take this tier 2 top. And I don't know what your thoughts are, but at this point it's like, I don't know if they can do anything, man.
There's nothing they can do now. And Simplicity is running it pretty well here. They're keeping the pressure on. They're taking down towers. They're not going to waste any time winning this game.
Oh yeah, bottom lane looks like Windrunner is going to get the solo Chronosphere, plus the Lich Nuke. Happy Cat going to seal that kill, and likely look to push this tier 1 bottom while the rest of his team retreats from top. And man, this, I don't even want to open, I left closed one of my eyes. Oh no, that gold graph. And that experience graph, that is not what you want to see if you are in final forms position. Definitely great for Simplicity, but it's like when you rip a band-aid off really fast and you're just like, ow. That's what I pretty much just had to do when I opened that. So, at this point in the game, we can still see final forms doing everything they can to hang in here. Brewmaster does manage to pick up a Bracer, but in the meantime, Kitty has 6 kills, 1 death, 3 assists, 67 CS at the 12-minute mark. And everyone is just playing super defensively at this point from final form, just trying to do anything they can to keep their last tier 2 towers, middle and bottom. And another invis picked up here too by siL, so as soon as they decide to go, they could pretty much just give him. He only has 700 HP, well, over 800 now that he leveled. But it looks like he just wants to go on mid. Here comes Kitty, the blink in from siL. There's the vacuum and the scream combination. Gets frozen right on top of the tower. Stutters his ultimate, doesn't even need it. Does it like 5 times. Manages to pick off the Windrunner at the very edge of it. But that's 2 down pretty much instantaneously in favor of Simplicity. Oh, nice blink. Wait, did he just waste like all his epicenter before he burrowed in there?
Yep.
It definitely looked like it. And there's another vacuum going off. Queen of Pain getting a kill with a scream. I was going to say, it was a nice burrow strike epi, but it only got like 1 tick. Yeah, he only has level 3 stun, that's why. It's really hard to get in range to do that without your max rank is stun, and that's why I just don't favor long lane Sand King supports typically. And it looks like Kitty's going to have some damage done. Oh, vacuum back onto the low ground. CM immediately regrets that decision, and that is wicked sick for this Darkseer. And the tower's not even dead yet, man. They're like not even attacking it. They're just killing heroes. And there's a Dagon for Queen of Pain picked up as well.
The courier takes a shot to the face.
You got to be nice to the donkey, man. That thing brings you your items. Treat it with respect. Oh, nice power shot taken off the urn on a Kitty right there. Gets Shack out of the tree as well, but I don't think this is the right decision. He can't really fight this. Gets Nova. Oh, vacuum onto the low ground. That was a really nice play. But unfortunately, Enchantress pays with her life. And now Kitty's going to be forced back here. Are they going to go back on this Iron Shell and a Happy Cat? Maybe looking to get him a little bit lower before the Sphere. Where's the Sphere? Save your teammate. Kitty's shackled to the tree over on the right-hand side. There's the Brewmaster ultimate, but Kitty does go down. And Happy Cat not going to ultimate just yet. He might have to force to use it right here. There we go. But he is blocked a little bit by those aspects from Brewmaster. Running back into the river. Another shackle onto Sleesel. Not going to latch anything, though. And the fire thing. Just chasing down Boogaloo right here. Going to be forced back. I don't think they're going to catch him. Lich is quite fast. Actually just turns around. Just mans up. Oh, misses the Burrow Strike. He's going to have to go into Sandstorm here for sure. Gets the urn used on him. And here comes Sleesel from the back with the Scream. Should be enough to finish him off right there. We got the Bite used onto Sleesel as well. Impetus going into the woods right there. Wow. Dagon KS. KS or Sleesel, I'm calling it. It's bad manner to steal from your team. And there's a Scream out of the high ground. Blinks himself into the tree. A little bit stuck, but Windrunner not going to live through this. Auto attack from downtown. Sheep gets the kill on Enchantress. And 22-5 at 15 minutes. And Simplicity is just not letting up at all. They're just in it to win it. All day, every day, man. They're just not giving him any breathing room.
Now even the SA is going to go down on top.
Well, let's see if I can catch that. Here we go. He does blink to the creep wave. But there's going to be another surge here in just a second from Kitty. Should be enough. Ooh,
oh, the dust
wore off. He lives to fight another day, man.
Random vacuum.
Oh, man. Oh, he did do it, but he did it on the creeps. Definitely a nice little juke there. He can make his way back into the lane. I mean, Dust has a pretty long cooldown, even if he had 2, which he doesn't. I think he's just playing it super, super safe. Seeing his bottom lane, looks like Enchantress going to go down again. 1, 2, 3, and dead. Epicenter popped. Oh, and I think Sheep's going to die here. Yes, he will, pretty much instantly. Chain Frost is used as well. Not really going to do anything. Nice shackle from the back there from Windrunner. A couple more pinches, and arrows should go ahead and take him down. Now Happy Cat going to be forced back here. No chrono for 20 seconds. Going to go the long way. Probably going to meet Brewmaster. Oh, he leaps right into him, actually, and it looks like...
Darkseer put down Iron Shell on the creeps, and he walked next to it.
Oh, man, that is definitely a little bit embarrassing. And there's another shackle on the Happy Cat. No chrono just yet. Waiting for Kitty to throw out something. There's a nice wall vacuum, though. Manages to hit 3. And Happy Cat taking quite a bit of damage. Still leaps to the opposite side, out of the way of that Brewmaster. Cecil also forced back. They've just been on Final Form side of the map for like 10 minutes. They've never gone back to base. And now Kitty's chasing down the Brewmaster, who does not have his ultimate up. There's another vacuum. Ion Shell, once again, getting him a kill. This is actually insane how much fighting there is going on right now. And speaking of fighting, Windrunner going to get taken out by the urn and impetus auto attacks from Enchantress. And now we can see Kitty once again Ion Shelling himself. He has a gem now, too. Oh, man, Riki, this is not a good day for you, buddy. You're going to have to blink back. He has to try to do something. He's just getting impetus down here, and he will eventually drop to the creep wave. Assisted by that that Enchantress, but middle lane.
Level 2 Dagon. Boy, finishes his Battle Fury. This one's just about over.
Yeah.
Lich even got back.
I don't know, man. This was just a rough game to watch. I mean, it is kind of like an open qualifications tournament, so you're going to have some skill discrepancy between games, but I think everybody was kind of hoping for a good game, and I got to say, Simplicity played great. I mean, looking at the players, I am myself familiar with some of them from NEODota, like you were saying, so no real surprise that they performed well, but I don't really think there's much point to casting anything left that's going on. It's pretty much just going to be Sleesel trying to get his ult off, but walking into a cloud, and a nice double Burrow Strike, so Riki doing a little bit of work there, currently a 2-for-1, but just buybacks coming out right now from Simplicity. They don't even care. There's the big ultimate that we were looking for. Doesn't actually manage to pick anyone off, but currently 3 left on Final Form, quite low. Actually 4 now. CM has respawned. Another Burrow Strike going on the Sleesel and Happy Cat. Another power shot, and Shackle onto Sheep. Enchantress might take the fall here. Void, in the meantime, getting a kill on that Sand King. Now Windrunner going to be in a bit of trouble. Gets vacuumed back into the wall. Kitty throws out the Ion Shell. Going to be forcing himself into the base with that Surge, most likely. 4-step up in a couple of seconds, and there we go. Another leap on the Crystal Maiden. And after this kill, I would have to imagine they're going to call GG. I mean, there's just no way they can come back from this. Just no way.
Yep. Very nicely played game by Simplicity. They should be one of the favorites to qualify. Remember, 4 teams will go through the qualifiers. Simplicity and Hydra is definitely in a good position to go through. And VT Gaming, I'm not sure who is playing on VT Gaming, but they did not have a first round bye. I'm not sure how many forfeit wins they've gotten, but they have won 3 matches already and are moved on to the next round also.
Well, I definitely agree with in terms of who's favored in this tournament. We both personally know a lot of the players, so we're probably biased casters, LOL. But yes, I definitely agree with those predictions for sure. And I got to give credit, at least in terms of perseverance, to Final Form. I mean, they're sticking it out, but man, this is just hard to watch at this point. I mean, the Crystal Maiden went a little bit of a strange build. He went for the 1-2-2. That's something I haven't seen in a really long time, and we can see the Sand King getting picked off bottom lane. And I actually don't think that's what Mania would do if he was playing Sand King. I just had to make the joke, man. I had to. I'm sorry. I'm going to get flamed now because I'm a flamer. But yeah, at this point, just going ahead, wait for Simplicity to go ahead and take a Rax or 2 to finally force Final Form to call a GG. I assume that's what they're waiting for. Another blink onto the Crystal Maiden here. Some auto attack should be more than enough to seal the deal. Doesn't get a Shadow Strike off, and Riki drops just instantaneously to some right clicks. And there's a Godlike for Queen of Pain as well. That is 3 down. Sand King will respawn. Nice Fear. Catches a lot of his team, but catches 2 as well. The Windrunner and the Brewmaster. Can Brewmaster get his ult off? Nope, it's not even up. And the Dagon to finish him off anyway. Vacuum back in on the Windrunner, plus the Scream. Here comes an Epicenter, but the Sand King does not have Blink, so most of that's going to be wasted on 2 heroes that are basically unkillable at this point in the Darkseer and Void. Now Sandstorming under his tower, but they have a gem on that Darkseer, so triple kill for the Queen of Pain. CM is up just in time to probably die again, I would assume.
Sleazel's a dirty KSer.
He really is. Anytime you make a Dagon, that's a Dagon 4. That Dagon does 700. How much health does Crystal Maiden have? 500. I think his Dagon is close to one-shotting CM. Let's see if it does it right here. Yep, one shot. Oh, man, that's just rude. And there's the wave for the double KS. So I don't really think there's much in terms of strategy or what Final Form could have done differently this game. I think it was honestly just an outplay, like big outplay, and that's really all that can be said. So we will go ahead and let this game finish up, and there are the GGs. 21-minute game. It actually seemed like a lot longer than it really was. I think that's just because we've been seeing for the last 10 to 15 minutes Final Form kind of on the receiving end of a pretty savage beatdown, but that is going to do it for this round 3 game. So Simplicity is going to move further on to the tournament. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us for this cast. My name is Draskyl. Joining me was Spit-wad. Thanks to Machinima as well for sponsoring the prize pool for the tournament. This is the qualification of North American and South American players in this tournament only, or teams I should say. But we will be back with more exciting Dota 2 action coming your way, guys, in just a bit. Going to turn the music back on, try to get another game sorted for you guys. So go ahead and stick with us. That'd be great. Thanks so much for watching.